No, it was merely the transition between autumn and winter. The cold bit sharply. The sky hung perpetually overcast, as if snow might descend at any moment. 2 lights in the hall had broken down. Searching the storage room for a folding ladder, Changji grabbed a thick coat from a cardboard box and pulled it on casually. If she had glanced in a mirror then, she would never have regretted it so deeply afterward. Dragging the ladder beneath the faulty lamp and unfolding it, she climbed unsteadily, having fixed the bulb and about to test the light. She heard slow footsteps drawing near. "Could you turn on the light for me?" she called out casually. The dragging steps halted a few meters away. A soft click echoed, and brilliant light flooded the hall in an instant. The ladder swayed violently, and Changji let out a startled gasp. In the blink of an eye, a guest started forward to steady the wobbly ladder for her. "Thank you." She glanced down carelessly and froze at the sight of a face both unfamiliar and hauntingly familiar. It was Shen Shizai. After years apart, he looked haggard and worn, with unkempt hair and stubble. Even the warm lamplight could not mask his heavy melancholy and listless despair. Changji hastily examined her own appearance. She wore an unflattering black coat meant only for warmth, paired with fluffy pink pajama trousers and rabbit-heel socks. Comparing their disheveled looks, she could not tell who appeared more wretched. "What are you staring at? Don't you recognize me?" Shen Shi's eyes flickered faintly, his voice low and muffled. "Come down first." While he folded the ladder away, Changji tittied her messy hair and tugged at her cuffs in a faint refined gesture. "Was my brother's guest you? Have you been staying here long?" Shen Shi's eyes studied her intently. "Just a few days. What are you doing here?" "I was tricked into coming." A cold smile tugged at her lips. "The owner of this inn is my cousin." 2 days prior, right after her exams, she had fallen for her cousin's empty promises. She had rushed over eagerly, only to find no feast waiting, just a brief note left on an empty table. He had conned her into minding the inn while he went off to wander freely. "What about you? Did you come here for inspiration?" Hen Shizai replied listlessly, offering no further word. Silence settled thickly between them. Flustered, Changji thought trivial small talk. "I've listened to your songs. They're really beautiful." Shen Shizai let out a mocking snort and turned away with heavy steps. Alone in the hall, Changji shook her fist at his retreating back, thinking he had changed greatly yet remained just as exasperating. To her surprise, he soon returned, tossing a thick white coat toward her. "Put this on." Instantly forgetting her petty grievances, she slipped into the soft coat. "How much longer will you stay?" "Are you chasing me away?" Shen Shizai raised an eyebrow. He looked far better without that shabby outer coat she had worn. "I'm not leaving." "You stay put too." He slouched onto the sofa and began boiling water for tea. Changji stole countless glances at him. She had never seen Shen Shizai so dejected. In her memories, he had always been bright, lively, and dazzlingly cheerful. Once, she had tutored him off school. He hated studying, and their sessions always turned into petty battles of wits. He devised endless tricks to tease and provoke her, often driving her to the brink of tears. Yet whenever she truly cried, he would panic and peel chestnuts to soothe her temper. Those gentle old days lingered softly in her mind. Past midnight, Changji tossed and turned in bed, torn between regret for wearing that ugly coat and a quiet resolve to treat Shen Shizai more kindly tomorrow. Lujie, Ayu Inn nestled halfway up a mountain. The night was deathly quiet save for faint crickets chirping. Her cousin's words echoed repeatedly in her mind. "I never knew you knew Shen Shizai. My friend said he has been trapped in despair lately, on the verge of giving up. What's troubling him? He says he never wants to sing again." Changji could not fathom why he would abandon his greatest passion. Early the next morning, she banged loudly on his door. "Get up and come shopping with me." Came his drowsy, half-asleep reply. After waiting 10 minutes with no response, she raised her hand to knock again, only for the door to swing open. Shen Shizhai stood there with his hair tied in a messy topknot, damp fringe clinging to his forehead, pulling on his coat sleepily. Why so early? I'm starving, close to low blood sugar, she pouted pitifully. He froze, stared at her blankly for 2 seconds, then grabbed her sleeve and hurried forward. It was a rare, clear day. Warm sunlight spilled from the eaves, wrapping around them both, shielding her eyes from the glare. Changji gazed at the distant mountains and proposed suddenly, "Let's watch the sunrise tomorrow." Sunrise? Shen Shizhai mumbled, still half minus asleep. She pointed to the winding mountain path behind them. "It's not far to climb. Are you in?" Seeing his lack of enthusiasm, she feigned disappointment. "I've never watched a sunrise before. But can you even wake up early?" "Wake me tomorrow morning," he retorted casually, and not afraid of a little challenge. "Victorious," she added playfully. "Whoever breaks the promise is a puppy." Soft sunlight fell over her. Her lips curved in a smug smile as she tilted her head. Shen Shizhai glanced away, murmuring childish yet a faint, involuntary smile tugged at his lips. He had always known Chengji held a unique warmth. Her mere presence could lift his spirits and ease his sorrows. Even on his darkest days, talking with her would calm his heart. At 5:30 the next dawn, Shen Shizhai woke her. The world was still dim, scattered lanterns dotting the silent mountains. It felt as though only the two of them existed in the quiet dawn. Lost in the tender moment, she was jolted back by his tug on her sleeve. "At your pace, we'll only catch the sunset." Chengji glared at him, indignant at his sarcasm. When the sky paled to faint white, they reached the summit. Mists whirled through the valleys, veiling distant lakes, hills and scattered cottages, standing behind him to block the cold wind. He grew restless, asking repeatedly, "Why has the sun risen yet?" After making gentle excuses for a while, Shen Shizhai asked softly, "Why do you want to see the sunrise so badly?" Peering out from behind him, she whispered, "Because when the sun rises over the horizon, you truly understand what light means. It is the first ray cutting through endless darkness." Shen Shizhai watched her quietly, slowly grasping her gentle intention. He lowered his eyes and smiled faintly, thinking, "You are my light." The wind blew softly, and silence stretched between them until golden sunlight pierced the clouds. The sun rose slowly, bathing the world in brilliant radiance. Overwhelmed by emotion, Chengji shouted toward the valley and raised her phone to take photos. Perfect reference for my comics. Comics. Bathed in morning glow, his features looked softer and gentler. She had always been shy about her hobby of drawing, just a casual hobby to pass boring study time. He did not press for details. "Show me your work sometime." She nodded absently, secretly vowing never to let him see her drawings, yet deep down, she wondered how he would react if he discovered the hidden feelings woven into every page. She slept until evening. Starving, she wandered into the hall to find Shen Shizhai scrolling on his phone. He glanced up. "Awake?" "Food is on the table." She rushed toward the dining table, then heard his quiet question. "Want to watch a movie tonight?" "I have plans with a classmate. I'm heading out soon." He fell silent for a moment. "I'll go into town with you." His plain tone stirred a twinge of guilt in her heart. He had been isolated and downcast since arriving, and she had neglected him. Imagining him sitting alone in an empty cinema, she suggested gently, "I could go with you tomorrow instead." Yet Shen Shizhai was stubborn. "I want to go today." She suspected he was doing it on purpose. Dressed carefully for her meeting, she could not change her plans. They parted ways at a downtown crossroads. After meeting her senior schoolmate, she caught sight of Shen Shizhai strolling past, movie ticket in hand and popcorn tucked under his arm, winking strangely at her, though his actions seemed innocent. His mood had been peculiar all day. Mid-Mina's conversation with her old classmate, she received a message from him. "Movie's over. Want to ride back?" It was barely 8 o'clock. "I'm still busy. Head back first." "How long?" He'll wait. Not sure. Don't bother waiting. Fine. A vague sense of guilt and unease washed over her. Certain he was upset. Distracted by checking her messages, she stayed out far later than planned, and his messages never came again. Annoyed by his silence, she discovered the last mountain bus had long departed. Resentful, she took slow connecting buses back, only to be terrified by the pitch-black mountain road. Twisted tree shadows loomed like monsters in the dark, and fear gnawed at her courage. Helpless, she dialed his voice call. Huh? What's wrong? His voice was thick with drowsiness. Walking nervously up the slope, she hesitated, then mumbled, "Have you eaten? Should I bring you something back?" "I have." "Are you already asleep?" Rustling sounds came through the line, followed by slow footsteps and a quiet yawn. His cold, distant attitude left her unable to voice her plea for him to fetch her. The wind howled, and neither spoke, yet she clung to the call, grateful he had not hung up. Spotting a distant shadow, she pretended to speak to her cousin loudly to scare off strangers. Suddenly, an impatient voice cut through the night. "Cheng Xiaozi Hi, are you a snail?" Her face lit up with joy, and she ran straight into his waiting figure beneath the street lamp. He saw through her fear and unease at a single glance. "I was so scared just now," she panted, clutching his arm tightly. The stranger already turned away. He walked forward calmly, letting her hold on. She noticed a crease on his cheek left by his pillow. He had clearly been woken from sleep, yet had come to fetch her without complaint. She smiled, finally understanding his gruff yet caring nature. "Let's go out and play tomorrow." "Whatever you want," he replied softly. Thin moonlight filtered through the branches. She caught a fleeting smile on his face before it vanished behind a stubborn frown. She laughed softly, leaning her full weight on his arm. Shenxi's high kicked her shoe tip, confused. "What are you laughing at?" Flustered at being seen through, he kicked her again. "Stop laughing!" From that day on, Kangxi kept close watch over him. Flustered by her unwavering gaze, he frowned. "Why keep staring? I'm taking you for a haircut this afternoon." She thought his scruffy appearance felt unfamiliar, and hoped to restore the familiar boy she once knew. The years apart felt like a fleeting dream, and he was once again the lazy boy who hated homework. Equal parts endearing and teasing. Him not going, ignoring his refusal. She opened the map. "The weather is lovely, and it's nearby. We can ride bikes there." After a brief struggle, Shenxi's let himself be dragged outside. The barbershop was quiet. Chengxi watched him idly, noticing his ears turning bright red in the mirror. Amused, she stretched lazily. "I'm going for a walk next door." Sitting in a convenience store, she recalled a cold winter long ago. Shenxi's lived in a narrow alley, which she feared passing after school. One day she had crashed straight into him as he opened his door. After that, he waited for her daily at the alley entrance with a bag of chestnuts, pretending it was pure coincidence. Though he complained about her tutoring tasks, he always finished them perfectly. He had never truly refused her requests. And this quiet consideration had always warmed her heart. A wave outside the window pulled her back to reality. Shenxi's stood there, neat and refreshed with his messy hair trimmed short. She approached slowly, eyes wide. "Shenxi's you're actually really good minus looking." His blush spread from his ears to his cheeks. He glared at her, flustered. "You're just realizing that now." Kangxi laughed and grabbed his sleeve. "I'll take you to my secret scenic spot." Far from crowded tourist areas, the quiet waterfront featured long bridges and distant mountains. Peaceful and serene. "Play a song," she suggested, opening a music app without waiting for his reply. A look of helpless dread crossed his face the moment the familiar opening notes played. "Your old voice sounds so young and childish," she teased, humming along. It was his earliest song, a memory he had long avoided. "Enough, change it." She switched tracks, only to play another of his forgotten ballads. Resigned, he leaned against the railing, yet tensed when she hummed the chorus perfectly. You've been listening to me this closely? A friend sang this. I never knew it was yours. It's beautiful. He fell silent, worn down by her gentle teasing. Closing her phone, she grinned. If my comics get published one day, will you write me a theme song? Scented with faint floral fragrance. She flustered him instantly. No. She chased after him, tugging his sleeve. Please, my whole reputation depends on you. I'll draw illustrations for your songs, she bargained. He stopped abruptly, glancing at her. A full book of illustrations. Horrified, she agreed firmly. Deal. I'll think about it. Cheng Ji smiled, seeing through his hidden joy. Cold and reserved on the surface, he had always been soft for her.